Neuroanatomy is the branch of anatomy that deals with the study of the structures of the brain and other parts of the nervous system. So the detailed study of the structural aspects of the nervous system is called neuroanatomy. Introduction to neuroanatomy includes classification of the nervous system. Now, let's start with the classification of the nervous system before we further move on to the detail of the other structures. So, nervous system of the human body is divided into central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, and autonomic nervous system. So we have a CNS, central nervous system, a PNS, peripheral nervous system, and ANS, autonomic nervous system. Autonomic nervous system is further divided into sympathetic and parasympathetic parts of the autonomic nervous system. This system is under the involuntary control with its headquarters situated in the hypothalamus. Central nervous system is further comprising of brain and spinal cord. Brain is further divided into three parts: forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. Brain is divided into forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. Forebrain, what does fore mean? Anteriorly located, firstmost, right? So the forebrain further comprises of two parts, cerebrum and diencephalon. Cerebrum is divided in the midline by a fissure or a sulcus called sagittal sulcus or fissure into two hemispheres, right and left cerebral hemispheres. Then what about diencephalon? Diencephalon is a combined term used to identify the structures that are located in the midline of the forebrain. So cerebrum basically comprises of two lateral right and left cerebral hemispheres, and the midline structures of the forebrain are called together as diencephalon. Midbrain. Next to forebrain, we have midbrain, and further posterior most is the hindbrain. Hindbrain further comprises of three parts. Pons, next to pons is medulla, and behind these two structures is the cerebellum. Now you can see that I have colored midbrain, pons, and medulla with the same color. These three structures are together given another name. These three structures, that is midbrain, pons, and medulla. Superiorly, we have midbrain. Next to midbrain, we have pons, and inferior most, we have the medulla oblongata. These three structures are given another name, which is called brain stem. Brain stem. And then in the hindbrain, the posterior structure is the cerebellum. Now, what about peripheral nervous system? Peripheral nervous system comprises of two types of structures, nerves and their associated ganglia. Peripheral nerves and their associated ganglia. Peripheral nerves are further of two types. Those that arise from the central nervous system are called cranial nerves, and those that arise from the spinal cord in the form of 31 pairs of spinal nerves, they are called spinal nerves. Together, these two nerves constitute the peripheral nerves and their associated ganglia. What is a ganglion? Usually, a ganglion is defined as collection of the cell bodies of the neurons. So I hope this classification is clear to all of you. Now, next we move on to the tissues forming the nervous system. Now we must know that what type of tissue is present within the nervous system. So the nervous system comprises of these 4 types of structures. इन 4 चीजों से मिलके nervous system बनता है. वो कौन सी 4 चीजें हैं? Neurons, neuroglia, blood vessels, and a very new addition, recent addition to the structure of the nervous system, lymphatics. So what are neurons? Yeah, what is a neuron? Neuron is the structural and functional unit of the nervous system that basically conducts, or that is concerned with the conduction of the nerve impulses. It is said that in a human body, more than 1 trillion neurons are present. What about neuroglia? These neurons are supported and present within the special type of connective tissue. This special type of connective tissue is labeled as neuroglia. Next, we have blood vessels. Nervous system is rich with blood vessels. It is richly supplied by blood vessels. And then last but not the least, we have lymphatics. Previously, it was believed that there were no lymphatics in the nervous system. But now the recent studies have come to the conclusion and have found out that lymphatics are indeed present in the nervous system to drain the extracellular fluid or interstitial fluid from the nervous system. And these lymphatic vessels usually lie along the walls of the arteries and arterioles within the nervous system. So, कौन से स्ट्रक्चर्स बनाते हैं नर्वस सिस्टम का? अपना टिश्यू जो है इसका स्ट्रक्चर न्यूरॉन्स बनाते हैं, न्यूरोग्लाया बनाते हैं, ब्लड वेसल्स बनाती हैं और लिम्फेटिक्स बनाती हैं. सो न्यूरॉन्स हमने डिफाइन कर दिया, न्यूरोग्लाया को डिफाइन कर दिया कि इट इज अ स्पेशल टाइप ऑफ कनेक्टिव टिश्यू. इसके अलावा नर्वस सिस्टम को रिच ब्लड सप्लाई मिलती है और लिम्फेटिक्स भी अब रिसेंट स्टडीज ने डिस्कवर कर ली है. नाउ लेट्स सी न्यूरॉन and what should we know regarding a neuron. We just saw or read the definition of a neuron, that it is the structural and functional unit of the nervous system. It is an excitable type of tissue that basically serves to conduct the impulses within the different parts of the nervous system. Now, how do we classify neurons? What is the structure of a typical neuron, and what are synapses and what are their different types? You must all know about these all headings because they are not of only clinical importance, but they are also commonly asked in the MCQs, in the SAQs, and in the Viva of the professional examinations. So now let's start with the classification of the neuron. Classification of a neuron. A neuron can be classified on the basis of the number, length, and the branching mode of its processes called neurites. What is a neurite? Neurite is the process, either a dendrite or an axon of a neuron. So the fibers or the processes coming out of a neuron are called neurites. So based on the number, length, and mode of branching of these neurites, we can classify the neuron into unipolar, pseudo-unipolar, bipolar, and multipolar. Then we have another type of classification which is based on the size of a neuron. Which is based on the size of a neuron. How long is it? Is it very long or is it very short? So let's see some of the facts or peculiar points related with the classification of the neuron based on the branching number and length of its neurites. We have unipolar. So in unipolar type of neurons, we have a single neurite arising from the body of the neuron, that is called soma, and after some distance it divides into several smaller branches. This is called unipolar, having a single neuron, single process arising from the body and after some distance dividing into smaller branches. Examples are these unipolar type of neurons are commonly found within the skin, muscle, and joints. Next in the classification of the neuron is pseudo-unipolar. Now pseudo means false, right? So a neuron that gives a false impression of unipolar. So what are these pseudo-unipolar? Here we have in this diagram a picture or sketch of a pseudo-unipolar. You can see that a very small process arises from the cell body, and soon after it arises from the cell body, it divides into two processes. Soon after arising from the cell body, it divides into two processes. So you can see the difference of these two types of neurons. Here we have unipolar, look at its process. And here we have a pseudo-unipolar, which is falsely giving an impression of unipolar neuron. But basically, it has a single process that immediately divides into two processes. So this type of neuron is commonly found in the dorsal root ganglion. Now, I am sure all of you know where is the dorsal root ganglion. So pseudo-unipolar, these type of neurons are specifically found within the dorsal root ganglion, sensory ganglia of the cranial nerves, like trigeminal nucleus, very famous. Mesencephalic nucleus, you will study this nucleus also with the cranial nerves. When we will study in detail the topic of cranial nerves, we will again look into the description of these two structures, but for now you just need to remember the examples of pseudo-unipolar location where these neurons are found. So these type of neurons are associated and found within the dorsal root ganglia, sensory ganglia of the cranial nerves, for example trigeminal ganglion, and then we have a mesencephalic nucleus. Third type of neuron in this classification is the bipolar neuron. Now bi refers to two, polar, two poles. So bipolar refers to the type of neuron having a cell body within the center, and from the two poles or two ends of this cell body arise two processes. So again, compare this diagram of the bipolar with that of the unipolar and pseudo-unipolar. Always remember, whether you are an undergraduate student or you are a postgraduate medical student, you should be able to develop your visual memory. Visual memory becomes very important when it comes to anatomy, learning anatomy, remembering anatomy. Fine. So please always pay attention to the diagrams, not only from your examination point of view, but also for developing your visual memory. This visual memory better helps you to remember, memorize certain structures within the gross anatomy specifically, and they help you to build your imagination while remembering the different branches of the anatomy. So here in this diagram, you can see the bipolar type of neurons. Next, we have multipolar. Multipolar type of neurons is the one that is the most abundant type of neurons among all these types of neurons. It is commonly abundantly found in almost all places of the nervous system. So bipolar is commonly commonly found within the retina, cochlea, and vestibular ganglia. We can also say that bipolar neurons are found in association with the special senses, that is eye, retina, and hearing, cochlea, vestibular ganglia, as well as in the olfactory system, that is nose. So the neurons found in relation to the special sensory organs, they belong to this type of neurons, bipolar. Multipolar, they are the abundant type of neurons. They are present, they have a cell body, and at one end of the cell body, multiple processes they arise. They are called dendrites, and from the other end of the body, a single long process arises that after covering some distance, divides into branches. This process is called axon. Then we have classification based on the size of a neuron, Golgi type 1 and Golgi type 2. In Golgi type 1 neurons, we have a single long axon, and it is again the most abundantly found type of the neurons within the central nervous system. Golgi type 2 neurons, they have a very, very short, small axon with lots of dendrites. And this type is commonly found within the cerebral cortex and cerebellar cortex. Here is the diagram on the right side of the slide. These small dots that you can see, they are the Golgi type 2 type of neuron. And these small dots that you can see with multiple fibers arising from them, they are called type 1. They are the example of the Golgi type 1 neurons. So I hope this lecture was of any help to you people. It was just the basic introduction of the neuroanatomy and nervous system.